How big were you as a freshman?
210, 205.
Like 6 foot, 205?
6'1", 205, yeah. Well, I'm not quite 6'1". Like, 6 foot.
Yeah. Have you been the same height
205,
since you were a freshman?
I've been the same height since the 8th grade, like the start of the 8th grade.
Yeah, that was
So you were tall. You were tall when you were younger, then just
I was.
plateaued.
Dude, it's the most brutal thing ever. Like,
Thought you had so much potential to be a giant.
Same.
I'm getting looked at by, the high school is a college prep high school, right? Like, there's a thing. They're a feeder school to. Oh my! You're gonna be huge. You just need to get in the gym. So I started getting in the gym. I did not grow a fucking centimeter past 8th grade.
Me too. 6'2", 8th grade. Never got any bigger.
And I was so much bigger than every other kid, like, through those years. And then about sophomore year is when everyone else just – because, like, freshman year I was still bigger. Sophomore year I noticed I was not, like – I wasn't big anymore. And then junior year I'm like, shit, I'm kind of small. And senior year, then going into college, I'm like, okay, I am way smaller than these guys.
Yeah. That's when some guys really start to pack on size, huh?
Oh, especially when you're, my bullshit years of traveling around trying to play college ball. Like, you start when you're you're going against nationwide kids. You know? Like nationwide O linemen and tight ends. What I played as a down safety. Like, these motherfuckers are huge.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that big.
Boys that are true men.
I mean, it's crazy.
My 10-year-old had a basketball game here a week or so ago, and they're all about the same height, 10,
Yeah.
And then there's this one kid that's
just huge.
He's like a foot and a half taller at least than everybody, and that kid is just every rebound, just straight layups, just laying
That's
them in.
how I played every sport, and I was like, just bigger, more powerful, more like I had already grown into my body, so to speak, so I was like pretty athletic for a young kid. And then I'll never forget, so I got invited to the All-American Combine. So I didn't make the All-American team, but I think there's 40 or 50 something to dress out the full All-American team, so just over 100 on both the East and West teams. But they have a combine around that, and then there's another 100 kids that get invited that didn't quite make the team but still got invited. I think it's 100 and 150 kids. So I got invited to that, and that's where my junior year, and that's where I was like, what the fuck?
This is a different thing.
Oh, these guys are giant. Like, I am not big. I've been told I was big, you know what I mean? And then you go, I'm going up against a top 150 tight end in the nation on these one-on-one drills and and seeing other linebackers, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Not that big.
Yeah, that realization.
Yeah, it was wild. That was the first, in my mind, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to figure this out.
Yeah, I remember my oldest kid bringing him here to Vegas for, Summer League AAU games. And they have, the Platinum division, and then they have, the Invitational division, which is, these teams that they just invite, these select few. There's, 15 or 20. And you would sit and watch those teams play, and you're like, oh, this is
different.
This is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
This is another level.
Yeah. And back then too, which made it even worse for me, the realization for me, not even worse, but more impactful, is back then Vegas was still pretty small. I mean, we're talking 10 plus years ago. Actually, no more. I'm terrible at math. What's 35 minus 18?
Brady?
It's 17.
So almost 20 years, right? And that's my senior year. So Vegas was still pretty small back then. And we were, I wanted to say we were 4A back then. We didn't travel outside of Nevada ever to play. I played at the best school in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So, you just didn't get that, full understanding of what was out there.
Yeah.
What's Vegas like now?
Oh, it's giant now.
I mean,
all these teams
as far
travel.
As these teams,
they all travel. They all play, Gorman now. Dude, they travel to Texas and California. They go play big 5, 6A schools. So, they're getting they're playing what
those
the
other
world
teams.
is, right? They're playing what that next level is in high school. We never did that. I mean, shit, I was playing Cheyenne and Palo Verde, Spring Valley and Durango, all in normal schools. So you just never had that, that real, I don't know, impactful moment until I went to that combine. And I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, just in 15 years.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, my oldest kid had a game last night, and I mean, it's a 4A high school in Utah. It's not a huge. Cedar City's what, 35,000 people maybe.
Yeah.
They got 2 high schools, Canyon View and Cedar, and I mean they're a decent sized high school, but like, you know, to watch those kids play compared to when I played, it's a different thing. Like every one of those kids on the court shoots better than probably the 2 best kids on our team shot.
Yeah.
You know, they're almost all bigger.
It's a totally different game.
They're
now.
quicker. That's all they play is basketball for the most part. Most of them just play one sport, you know, and they play it year round.
That's a big difference nowadays.
Yeah, they
you
do
got to pick one track.
personal training, you know. He goes.
It's a year-round thing.
Yeah. It's a whole
wild.
different thing. I don't know. I kind of miss the old days.
Right?
And then that's how I know I'm getting old. It's because I look back on it and I'm like, yeah, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back and play high school ball again.
Do you really?
So
I
bad.
hated it.
I would redo that in a heartbeat.
There's
Really?
actually,
Oh, yeah.
you know what's interesting
loved it.
too is I'm not like entirely well versed to speak super analytical on it, but there is data out there that is definitely supportive of the fact that multi-sport athletes that didn't just go one track, less injuries and better chance of making it. Because it's a more well-rounded thing. So like you look at nowadays, like we're just talking about, they get so down this one path and they train year-round for this one thing, this one movement, which leads to a lot more injuries in kids. Specifically, they're finding it in women's soccer a lot, the ACLs and some weird stuff, and then they're finding it in I think it's baseball and the injury rates. And then like being more well-rounded in the past with a little bit of time off in between sports is actually proving to be better.
I just don't know how they get that you wouldn't get burnt out completely.
Well, you don't have a choice because if you don't, you're not going to
Yeah,
play
you're
the
not
next
going to be
year.
competitive. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. But
you're-
like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I remember my senior year of high school. I was just so glad it was over.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, thank God that was the last basketball game.
Yeah.
I'm so over this.
Well, I started going down the path like, well, I like hunting a whole hell of a lot better than this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not that
Yeah.
big, not that good. So
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to hunt. Fuck
That's why I always got yelled at because I didn't play basketball in the fall because that was hunting season.
Yeah, I mean,
I only did one sport. I played basketball all year, but fall, no basketball.
smart.
So I got yelled at a lot for that.
You just
From
went
the
hunting?
coach. Hunting. Winter,
I should have done
spring,
more
summer,
of that. I mean, really, what did football give me?
life lessons.
Yeah.
I think
guess.
that's it.
No, it is entirely. Team sport, life lesson, team mentality.
Hard work.
Nothing like a locker room mentality, one common goal, super simple goal.
Yeah.
Win at all costs.
I mean,
Everyone's bought in.
I think you can learn that in a lot of ways. I don't think sports are like it, you know, as far
But
as like
I agree.
learning that kind of thing. But I do think
It's a great thing, though.
I think it's good in a lot of cases. I think it really does teach people, you know, hard work ethic, and you can get that in a lot of ways. But my experience, I thought it was hard.
The one thing I miss is the locker room mentality. Just
Yeah?
the one common goal. Everyone's bought in. No one fights it. Everyone understands exactly what it is. Win at all costs. You know, protect
Yeah.
your brothers. Like, it's so simple.
I kind of miss like the
And there's sorry to cut you off,
Yeah,
but
you're
there's
good.
like the difference between that and work life, like work balance life, is you had weekly direct feedback. I mean, the most impactful feedback you could have. You either won or lost, right? You either accomplished or you didn't. In work life, it's just a never-ending. We got to win. We got to. Well, what is a win? What is a loss? Like,
yeah,
it becomes
the line keeps moving.
well,
Yeah,
and it
sometimes.
becomes a lot more gray. Like, what do you
Yeah.
classify as a win or a loss, right? Like,
Mhm.
there's the grand win, of course, which is being successful. What's successful, right? But then there's like all these day-to-day things of, I don't know. It's just
Yeah, I
it's a lot
missed
more
like the
complicated.
adrenaline, you know, of the Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, the hour before the game, the warm
Oh,
up,
yeah.
the electricity of the crowd. And I don't know. I like that about hunting too. I like the fact that
Oh,
there's
I
just
love
like
that.
this intensity, the rise of the situation. It comes together and like it just feels like it's never going to happen. And when it does, it's like, man,
Can't believe that
I can't believe that
Yeah.
happened.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, me too.
And then there is kind of that locker room feel, you know, back at the fireplace, back at the house,
Mhm.
whatever it is, back at camp. You're right. Like, there is kind of that locker room spirit.
Yeah, and that sense of satisfaction that you did something.
Yeah,
You know, like I did something that was hard to do, and I
for sure.
freaking did it. Well,
For sure.
Brady, hit us with a promo.
All right. So, promo time. So, right now is probably, arguably, one of our favorite times of the year. Application season, research season.
It's my second favorite.
Second
season,
favorite?
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
I think it's on par, though.
Is it?
It gets me so excited for what's to come.
I like it's. I don't gamble much, but it's kind of like gambling.
It is. Yeah.
in the way that I gamble, you know.
Exactly.
I put in my application. I know that there's going to be some sort of drawing, and hopefully my name comes up.
So right now we have a special promo for you guys. We want to treat you guys right. So if you sign up right now for our Insider membership, that's all of our research draws, Filtering 2.0, application strategies, includes GoHunt maps, everything under the umbrella of GoHunt. Use podcast 100 promo code. It's going to give you 100 points back to GoHunt Gear Shop. That's $100 you can turn around and spend on quality gear. So right now you need Insider membership to go forward with everything.
Yeah, the membership's $149.
Yep.
We're going to give you $100 back. So for $50, essentially, you get maps, all the tools that you just mentioned.
Yep. And that leads us right into our discussion of app season kickoff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought today would be interesting if we just kind of talked about the application process. And like, so we had a meeting the other day. I don't know if you were in that one. We had a guy that works here, right? So and he's he's not new to hunting, but he's newer than some of us, right? And one of the things that he said in regards to a question he was asked, like, what's the biggest, hurdle for you? He was just like, where do I start? Mm-hmm. He's like, it just seems overwhelming. I have no idea what to do. And I think I get that a lot. You get that a lot?
All the time. It's a big question for a lot of people out there.
I get it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
It seems insurmountable. I mean, you start to look at the state rules and regs, and I know that right now, we're looking at some different states and it seems like they're adjusting and moving all the time, right? So I think they're changing management, they're changing hunts. They're eliminating some hunts, adding others. There's some talk about draw systems changing. So it's like this constant moving thing, and it does seem like if you don't live within that day to day, it can be really hard to navigate.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought today maybe we would just chit-chat a little bit about how each of us approaches application season. We're tail end of December. You've got Wyoming elk, which is typically one of the first ones out the gate to open up. Alaska, that deadline already was passed, December 15th. Mm-hmm. But like how are you guys addressed? Like, what's your steps? Like, what do you guys look at when you're looking at a new application season? I'll ask Brady first.
Okay. Well, the easiest thing for me, like we launch Point Tracker. Mm-hmm. That's like the best way to start. Like, go back and look at all the other states, figure out what points you have. Like if you're new to Point Tracker, it's basically go to your state website, figure out how many points you have in that state, enter it in Point Tracker, and then from the years forward, I know I didn't draw a bunch of these species, so I just got to add one to that. So I want to start there and look at all my points across every single state for all the species. So right now, obviously, Wyoming elk is coming up. So I've been starting to dive into my Wyoming elk research because I do have a lot of points.
Why Point Tracker?
I think it's just it's the first place I want to start because if I don't have points, I can't draw some of these hunts, So I want to look at what I have available to me and if it's worth me burning it this year or if it's one of those hunts I want to save points for to carry it next year and just kind of figure out how my yearly app strategy will work. Like if I don't want to do Wyoming right now, but I have points somewhere else, I got to start weighing out which states am I likely to draw and do I have enough points to even apply for that unit or do I need to look at other units that take a lot less points and I can burn my points that way So I think getting your points in line is probably one of the biggest and easiest things because you just got to roll through all the states that you apply for, add your points to it for every species, and now it's there. And the greatest thing is, too, everything you enter in Point Tracker instantly transfers over to Draw Odds and Filtering 2.0. So
what were you doing before Point Tracker? Was it just like a spreadsheet like me?
I had a Google sheet that had all the states, all the species written down in a big columns broken out, and it was a mess. Like, it's literally a mess. It's hard to keep track of. It's hard to find those. If you have it in a notepad, where is that notepad located? Did I move it, or is it in some folder? And so now it keeps it organized.
I'm a hand writer. That's my life right there.
You write everything. So, everything. Previously, like before Point Tracker, is everything that you have as far as like your points and what you applied for, everything in a notebook?
I'm still a writer. I guess I'm millennial in generation, but like I must have been on the very front end of that because I am still very much a writer. Like if I don't write it down, I'll completely forget everything I did and where it is and which documents it's stored and all this shit. So I have a notepad. Always had it.
Writing it down different than putting it in a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You retain it better?
Yeah, and I seem to keep it better as well. It's in
really?
my desk drawer.
Oh man, I'm the worst.
Like I don't if you in my phone, it's like what note title is it in? What is it? You got to scroll through all this shit.
The older I get, the worse I am at that kind of stuff. Like,
really?
keeping track of where I put something. Like I lost my my deer tag in Idaho this year. I had to call my.
Well, that kind of shit, yeah. forget that all the time.
Yeah.
I have a notepad in my top drawer of my desk, and that's just where it stays.
Yeah, I'm not historically very good at maintaining, like putting things in the exact. I'm pretty good when I'm hunting, but like notebook,
small stuff.
I'd lose that for sure.
Look, I mean, no one goes through more sunglasses
Oh,
and
I'm on my third pair
knives
this year.
and tag. I don't know, all that little bullshit. Yeah, I'm a wreck with that.
Why-
Absolute wreck.
Why are sunglasses so damn hard to keep track of?
I don't know, because they're not that comfortable. I don't know. I don't
You're
think
taking them off sitting on a
sunglasses-
tailgate or
Yeah,
whatever when you're trying to look at something.
I take them off the very first chance I get, and wherever I set them, who knows?
I've definitely left a few pair on the sides of hills.
Oh.
Just pull them off the glass,
Oh,
get
for
excited,
sure.
jump up to walk off.
You also like leaving bugle tubes.
I do leave bugle tubes.
Yeah, that kind of
and
stuff.
trekking poles.
I've left plenty of that.
Yeah, just leaving it around. But I think that's the reason why we did Point Tracker, right? Is for this exact
sure.
reason that we're
Yeah,
talking about.
Keep it
is
in
that-
one central spot. It's tied to your account. And the great thing is, too, I can pull it up on my phone if I need to. If I'm on the
Yeah.
computer, I can look at it.
Yeah, there's two things I really like about it. One, I don't know if people even know, but you can actually maintain a profile for yourself, your membership, and then you can also maintain profiles for anybody that you might be doing applications for. So like my house, I've got 2 kids that are hunting age. You know, I'm buying them points in various states and applying them. So I can actually build out a profile for them, and I can put the number of points that they have for each species as they go. And I can easily like toggle back and forth between profiles so that I can look at odds for me or them.
Exactly. So, yeah, if you're looking at filtering 2.0, you can toggle it to your kid, or if you're on draw odds, you can toggle it over as well.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait till I'm there.
Yeah.
Got some years left, but I can't wait till I'm
Hey,
there.
if you can get Turtle through Hunter's Edge, you can take him to New Mexico.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no age limit, man.
Mhm.
He
I got
probably.
got a hard time sitting him down to watch a fucking TV show right now, let alone get his under safety.
I kind of can't wait to see Turtle
Oh, I can't wait.
out packing a gun around. I mean, just the visual of it. It looks pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Can't wait.
But I think even like taking one step back too, it's really important to look at and kind of visualize all these dates and deadlines that you're going to have coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's my biggest pet peeve about it. Like, why can't they just all get on the same page? Right? I mean, there's so many other things in life you can say this to. This is pretty small in the grand scheme of things, but it is the life we live. Like, why can't they just all get on the same page? And let's all just do the draws, and so nobody's freaking out about dates.
You know?
You mean just do them all at once?
Yeah, so you just know. Like, you
Yeah.
know, this is the month, and just get all your hunts done this month.
But then it makes it difficult too when you're trying to plan out like, oh, I'm going to apply Wyoming elk. If I draw Wyoming elk, then
There
I'm not
is-
going to apply for elk in another state because I don't want to stack all these
I
hunts
agree.
on top
There
of each
is
other.
a benefit to kind of getting some in before another one comes up and all that stuff.
I just don't
But-
like when states change it, like what Utah's doing.
Yeah,
you know?
the change is
they're
tough.
moving things around, makes it harder, or they might change the like we were talking about the other day. Like it seems like on the websites they always have different preference point deadlines. Like move it by a day
Mhm.
or two here or there. Just keep
Yeah.
it standardized. What day it's going to be, so we're all on the same page. You start to memorize it a little easier.
Yeah, which as you guys talk, it's sparking in me. I mean, I fully understand why people look at the draw systems of the West and consider them hard to understand. You know, and hard to navigate because there are all these different deadlines and there are all these different draw systems, and it does seem like if you're not paying like super close attention, you know, you may not get in, right?
Yeah.
You may not make the most of your points or your application.
Or realize you have to, if you're not trying to plan for the future, you have to buy a point in this draw because
That's
there
the
is
other
no
thing.
point-only deadline after the
Mhm.
fact. Like to
The-
understand that part.
I from what I hear of, you know, new hunters, and not necessarily new hunters, but let's say like new hunters to a new state, right? Maybe you've been hunting your whole life, but
Mhm.
it's different when you cross state lines, new system, all this stuff, is understanding like there's no barometer to let you know or tell you if you're making a good choice, bad choice, like if it works this way or doesn't work. There's no barometer to say like, yeah, you're doing this right. So it's entirely a guess, and it's not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not. Which, I mean, kind of goes back to, you know, the point you made, right? That, I mean, your first step is to look at your point
Look
systems,
at my
right?
points across all states. Yep.
And my opinion, I think that's, I mean, like really the key to drawing and getting a permit out west is playing the game, right? Applying. And, you know, we do application strategy articles. I'm currently working on Wyoming elk. It should roll out within the next week and a half, maybe 2 weeks at most, but you'll have that well in front of that deadline of January 1st. But I think those are, personally, I spend a shit ton of time on those, right?
If people realized the amount of time you put on there,
Yeah,
It's insane.
I personally think and have always thought since we started doing them, that is probably the biggest asset with an insider.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
For somebody who's trying to jump into new states.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's typically where I push people. Like the first thing, if you join Insider and you're kind of considering like applying for a state, I think the application strategy article for that state and that species is one of the most indispensable tools that you can have, because not only is it going to tell you like how to apply, deadlines, basic rules, regs, those kinds of things, but it's actually going to, I always try to give people kind of a, leg up, like on should you apply.
Yep.
Like if you do decide to apply, this is what you could potentially be looking at is in terms of drawing a tag, length of time. If you do have a certain amount of points, I mean, I've always gone through and done like, hey, if you've got between 3 to 5 points, these might be the best use of your points. So
I think that's one of my favorite sections is if you dive down on the bottom and read it. And then it can look to what the future might look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are those higher point levels going to gain me? Is it beneficial just to burn my points now on something else? Or
is it worth jumping in to start buying points in the first place?
Exactly.
Like, is this a state that's worth it?
Yeah, and we cover that within those. I mean, I've Colorado moose, sheep, goats one, I always talk about right there at the very first part of those species strategy articles. I'm going to tell you that for 3 years, you're going to be buying preference points for those species before you really even have a chance to draw.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially, if you apply for those 3 species, you're 3 years and $900.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're almost $1,000 just to potentially then have a chance to be in the draw. And then if you go into the draw odds, you look at draw odds from, that 3-point level up to whatever it is at this point, 26. Odds are pretty slim.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm telling you right out the gate, this is a cost-benefit analysis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the kinds of things I think it's important to call out for people. And I'm not saying it's not worth it. It might be. Maybe
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. It is worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you're after,
Yeah.
Colorado is worth it. Now, this is the benefit analysis is like, what's it worth to
Can
you?
I afford it?
Yeah, what's it worth to you?
And that's on the individual.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we do try to call those things out, so I would point that out. What? So you said points. Like how else do you kind of work through your application season? Like, what are you thinking about?
Well, mainly everyone knows I try to pick up mule deer tags everywhere. So I really just want to hunt
That's
mule
not true.
The better question
I heard
to
it's
that
elk
is,
tags.
is why.
Why? Why I want to do that?
Yeah.
I just love hunting mule deer. I mean,
I heard it's
they're
elk tags, man.
better hunt, better species.
Mm.
But the thing is, what I have to deal with right now, though, is I don't carry a lot of points. Everyone knows I just burn points all the time when I get to, because I'd rather hunt now rather than sit on the bench and just keep waiting and hoping I draw something.
But you say you don't carry points, but you do carry.
I carry points, but I burn them for deer.
For deer.
So that's what I have to worry about right now when I talk about, like, do I apply in Wyoming elk? Because I'm almost a max point holder in a bunch of western states for elk. Like, I'm literally like, 3-4 off, maybe a little bit more sometimes. But I have 15 plus points for every elk state. So if I start applying for elk tags, I got to watch out, because I have a really good chance to draw multiple elk tags in the same year. And I have to try to balance that out with what am I going to apply for mule deer, because I prefer to hunt mule deer. That's why I still build the points for elk, because eventually I'd love just to go chase giant bulls. Like, it'd be fun to switch it up every now and then.
That's what I'm talking about. See, Brady's into elk.
Mm-hmm.
Been telling everybody since day one.
And I did kill more elk than I did mule deer this year.
There you go. I'm not wrong.
That's a little stab at myself.
Look at the data.
So I think what you're highlighting, at least for me when I'm hearing you talk, is you have a priority.
I have a priority.
Your priority is an experience.
Yep.
And it's hunting mule deer.
Hunting mule deer.
And that's kind of essentially how you're basing your applications,
Yep.
right?
I look at all the states that I potentially want to hunt. What do I have points for? Can I pick up a tag with minimum points? And I also try to sprinkle in, maybe this year I'm probably going to try to burn some of my elk points in one state. Hopefully I'll draw that one tag. It sounds crazy, but I don't really want to draw multiple elk tags in the same year. I can't do the justice of the tag, because it's a dream tag. I'm burning a lot of points, a lot of years of my life, a lot of money in that point game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
it's a weird game, right? Everyone wants a tag, but you don't want all your tags in one year.
Yeah, and I'm also trying to take a really tight picture at all my points, but I'm also looking at a big picture of all these states, because I do apply in pretty much every single western state for all species. So I have to watch out in a way what I apply for. That's why I do look at, like I said, dates and deadlines all the time. When's that deadline going to be? When am I potentially getting the results back? Then I know if I drew that tag or not, which then I'll apply in other states based on if I drew or didn't draw, and just keep working that through. But I try to find opportunities where I can pick up tags with minimum points because, like I said, I always burn my points. So
Mule deer tags.
mule deer tags, yeah. Like the most points I've ever had for mule deer is 4
Yeah.
that I've drawn a tag on. Like there's some states, obviously I have trophy states like Arizona, I'm just banking points forever on. I have a ton of points there. And I'm okay with not drawing that state because I'm, chasing a certain hunt in that state, but I fill it with other states that I can draw with minimum points and just keep hunting multiple years in that same maybe general area or same region area. So I just started learning a lot more about hunting animals in that terrain.
Yeah. What do you do for your priority? Like, do you feel like, go through and you update your points for each individual state, and we have articles on how to do that, right?
Yep.
One tip I would include is like when you go through and you update your points in Point Tracker in your insider account, I would say update them for every state and every species, like in one go, so that you're not going back and forth and being like, shit, did I update my points for Colorado?
Yep.
I don't know. So just go through and do them all for one state or for every state.
And if you don't know how to look up your points, I do have a big master article. It's on our website that walks through every single state, how to log into that website, where to find your points on that website, and quick links if possible to try to do that.
Isn't it crazy how?
Because every state's different.
Isn't it crazy how some of them are like pretty wildly tough?
Yeah, it's not kind of
honestly,
buried.
Some of them are incredibly hard to.
We do this every year, and it's like every year before Point Tracker, it's like, man, I can't believe how hard this actually is.
Yeah, all the different passwords that you've got,
crazy.
logins.
And that's another great thing about Point
numbers.
Tracker. You can save some of your hunter ID information in Point Tracker to make it easier for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would say Point Tracker was born out of a bunch of our own frustration, and just like we're talking, like what a pain in the ass it is to maintain, your user login number or your name or your password for each individual state. And we just thought, it'd be great if we just put that all in one spot. That way you could go pull it up and then update your points. So what do you do for your...
I mean, very similar to him, right? Like we've all been doing this for so long. Like in my head, my strategy is, look, let's walk it back to the beginning, right? Like where I remember starting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this on the podcast and publicly before, but I was born too late for some of this stuff out there in some of these states, and that just is what it is. And that's like we were talking about on the couple podcasts ago, like I'm not going to catch a lot of this stuff, a lot of these, even with making changes and all this stuff. But back then when I was starting to really build out my strategy, which I don't know if I've ever told this part of it before, but it was actually kind of a blessing, not a blessing, obviously. I'm pretty mad at my dad when I think about this, but like
I am too. It's
furious. Actually, let's be honest. I am fucking furious at my dad when I talk to some of my other friends who's had much better fathers in this area, had a phenomenal dad elsewhere. But like he would apply for me as youth, but then when I, with football and going to college for football, all this stuff, that all went out by the wayside. So when I graduated college in 2010 is when I started. Like that's when I started doing my own thing, right? Because when I was in college in Montana, I was a huge duck hunter, and I would hunt big game in Montana, and it was that's what I was doing. So I was filling my hunting void. But when I graduated and came home and I was working back in Vegas is when I started building my strategy. So I'm only 12 years in some of this stuff. So like I am fairly new to it, even though I have been doing it very strongly for the last 12 years. But when I started, it was all cost benefit analysis. That's all it was. Is the story of GOHUNT, as couldn't even do the math of how long ago I was in high school, so that'll just tell everybody how good I am at math. But I was essentially trying to run my own like draw odds and reaching out to state agencies and asking them this stuff, and that's where Porter asked me what the fuck I was doing, and I was trying to tell him. And anyways, I was like doing this cost benefit of, okay, here's what I want experiences. I want to hunt every single year. I want at least a decent hunt every single year, and I'll chase some of this other stuff that I hear about and do research on. And you look at back then, you look at the forums and knew about this higher level hunt. And I'm like, okay, so my strategy is going to be, I want to hunt every single year no matter what, at least a good hunt. But I also want the ability, long down the road from now, to have the ability to cash in on some of these things I hear about and I want to do. So back then starting, I built my Western application strategy in 5 states at the time. And that's what Insider was born out of, is 5 states. So Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, Arizona. And that's where I was applying. I was kind of bouncing all these states off of each other. And it was a different game back then, obviously, than it is now. So fast forwarding with those priorities, now I find myself where I have a really good amount of points in like Arizona. I have my loyalty and my hunter safety and my 12 years of points. So I'm like, I'm chasing a certain hunt there, right?
Yep.
People have gotten mad at us for saying shit on the podcast before, so I won't say what it is. But I've been chasing it. Well, now I find myself, the first thing I do going into application season is kind of following trends going into where my points are. So I'll go back and, you know, through my, whether it be through my network or doing the old school research I used to do in 2010 about like, you know, trying to just find stuff on social media or forums, all this stuff, try to find a trend of these hunts I'm following, which the one in Arizona I've been chasing, which I'm on, is on a pretty severe downswing. So now I'm kind of back to the drawing board there, but I have all these points. So like that one's kind of on my mind of like, okay, what do I do there? Like I'm starting to get creative, asking some of my best friends like Clay Hill, how many points you have in Arizona? You want to go do should we go do a party hunt? Go do like a really fun backcountry style hunt together. So I look at this points first. I'll go through all my points and kind of figure out the trends of what I've been chasing with those points and see where I land there. And then that'll kind of round out the rest of my opportunity strategy, because my strategy from 2010 to today is still the exact same. I'm hunting every year.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm not hunting, but I have my states for that. And then I have my states for these points I'm chasing.
Brady's strategy is very, ever since I've known Brady, his strategy's been very species driven.
Very
species
with
driven.
mule deer.
Yep.
I don't really care much about the species as a whole.
See, and I'm the same as you.
I care about the experience. What was I banking those points for in the first place? Like what was in my mind? It's obviously not Arizona stripping, because I'll never catch that. But it's like that. It's experience. What states do I have these species points? And let me play it off the trends I'm seeing going into the next year.
Yeah, and I'm similar to you. I like to hunt. I mean, reality, I would love to hunt moose, sheep, goat, but you
Of
know,
course.
chances are it's not going to happen. I apply where it makes sense. You know, if I'm applying for other species,
Cost benefit analysis.
Yeah.
I apply where 10 years from now I know I'm going to have a chance.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, same like Nevada, for example. If I'm going to apply in Nevada, I'm going to buy the hunting license. It's also going to allow me for minimal application fee to apply for any and all species as a non-resident. So in those instances, I apply for bighorn sheep. I'm probably never going to draw that tag, but for a $15 application fee, I
Why
might as
not?
well throw it in there and just see what happens, right? But
You always have a chance in Nevada.
yeah, I mean, really for me, my bread and butter every year is going to be antelope, elk, and mule deer. And I don't really care. I do love to bow hunt elk. And that one's kind of been tough for me. Like this year, I'm kind of like having a moment. I don't know what to do with myself, because I've got a few points in Colorado that I could draw an elk tag and I could go on an elk hunt. I've got some points in Wyoming, but really I've got these pools of mule deer points that I've been building up that I haven't cashed in. It's like getting to a point where I'm looking at those and I'm like, I need to burn them, because you know, these are points that I'm just sitting there, and if I build above and beyond kind of what I've got, it's not really going to, you know, move the needle for me in the states that I've got them in. So for me, it doesn't really matter what species. Could be, you know, elk, could be mule deer, could be antelope. I really want to utilize this is my priority, get the best hunt for my points, regardless of
That's
species.
definitely my strategy too.
Yeah.
For the point level I'm sitting at, what's the best opportunity?
The best opportunity, best hunt that you can get. You bring up a point here a minute ago, like, do you want to draw multiple good tags in 1 year? Like, what's your take on that?
I think it's hard. I think it honestly is very difficult to
I look
devote
at-
a lot of time on those.
I look at turn back rules
Yeah.
first.
Right.
Because, I mean,
Yep.
with the states that have good turn back rules and all that, if I draw them all 1 year, cool. Because then I can kind of see how things are shaking out, spend some time, see what's going on, see what one I want, turn the other ones in. So I do, you know, you do have the opportunity to turn them back in, but like, definitely aren't going to hunt them all in the same year. That's for sure. Or at least I wouldn't.
And then I worry about, too, if the turn back thing only allows me to keep my point and not gain one.
Correct.
Then I'm going to be behind a year. So
Correct.
I'm thinking, like,
So
is
I look
that
at
worth
all
it
that.
in the long run, or I just buy a point this year and not
Exactly.
risk it because I might have this other tag?
That's what I look at in that stuff.
Why not keep both and just hunt both permits? Like, why don't you do that?
Sometimes, but like, well, we have so many years invested in those points, it's now become a dream hunt. Like, I may never catch that hunt again.
The number one decision maker in all of life, time and money.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, that's what it is for me.
Yeah, I always feel like this, and this has kind of come with age. I've done both. I've drawn a permit and I've hunted it really hard for, consistent 10 days, for example. And then on other years, I've had maybe 2 or 3 hunts and I've put 4 days or 5 days or a weekend and a Monday, put together.
Mm-hmm.
And like the older I get, the more I'm finding that like those hunts that I can put consecutive days, 2 weeks, 10 days, I'm just so much more satisfied with that experience at the end of it than I am with like trying to piecemeal different hunts together.
And I love boots on the ground scouting. Like if I can
Me
go
too.
to one place and just
Spend
hone in
time.
everything, know everything about that unit, road access, where the animals are, what they're doing, what people are doing.
It's information gathering, right?
Yeah,
So
like
like
it's
you
so
spend
much
10 days
more rewarding.
and you have that back-to-back day of you're on the path of the changes daily rather than going there for 3 days, going home for 10 days, coming back for 3 days. You lost those first 3 days of knowledge. You've lost the tail of what the changes are now, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, for
for
sure.
Those long stay hunts I've always been more successful on, always.
Yeah, and I would rather have one good tag per year, than try to spread out my time and stress.
Agreed.
Do you guys get stressed out? Like if you draw a good permit, let's say you've got a good mule deer, you've got, I don't know how many points you got in Arizona, but let's say you've got 12, 13, 14, right?
I have 14.
14. Let's say you have 14. Do you stress about that hunt? Yeah,
I do.
because you've got 14 years into it, right?
Yeah.
And I got into this for this hunt,
For that experience.
for this one I was chasing, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stress. Scott and I did a film on the Nevada elk hunt, right?
Yeah.
That I took me 14
Yeah, that's
years
right.
to draw. My dad did apply me in the state of Nevada, so thank you for that, but nowhere else. So
Other than that, you were a terrible
pretty
father.
frustrated. Pretty frustrated. So I ended up drawing that tag with 14 points, and it was the only hunt I wanted in my home state, Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
I like Nevada's draw system. Love the preference point system. We don't have the game to facilitate a lot of some of what these other states do. But man, it's kind of chaps my ass that you're in such a lockout period.
Yeah, you're
with
in a waiting
elk.
period, right?
Yeah, you're in a 7-year. If you kill, you're in a 7-year waiting period. So like, talk about stress. It took me 14 years, and now I can't even apply again for another 7 years before I start earning those 14 points back, right? So 21 years for the next time I have the same amount of points. So anyways, when I drew that tag, I was immediately stressed out. That lucky asshole drew with 4 points.
Yeah. A gimme.
A total gimme. Now he's locked out for 7 years though too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little different. It's different, when you kind of get that
You're
freebie. And I've spent a ton of time where this tag was. I've hunted with a lot of different people, and the stress that comes with it sometimes, in my opinion, isn't worth it. And that's why I appreciate the burn strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Just turn them and burn them, and that's where what I use majority of the other states for.
Where it makes sense.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's one thing I would also suggest is in relation to when you're evaluating your hunts for the number of points that you've got in a state. And I'll give you an example. So Colorado elk. I don't know how many people build points for Colorado elk, but if you're not, I highly suggest it.
Agreed.
They have a great over-the-counter opportunities right now, but I also think just like in a few points, you can go on an elk hunt. And
They got great first rifle, muzzle load.
Yeah,
hunts out
archery.
there.
Even a lot of those units have got draw archery tags, and they don't take a lot of points to draw. But I would say, I don't know how many people actually look at the odds and build points above and beyond. And here's an example. So I've got 8, right?
That's a good pile of points.
It's decent but here's the thing is like I'm getting into a point where there's a couple units that I'm within striking distance, but they have been jumping, point creep, and we'll talk about it here in a sec. But
that's what's happened to me in Arizona too, by the way.
they keep leaping those 2 hunts, but then if I look at the other hunts available to me that I would like to hunt that are, archery hunts, I'm 4, 5, 6 points up on what it would take to draw that tag currently. So I'm essentially giving up 5 or 6 points, right? That I could have drawn that tag 5
or 6
years ago.
years.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
years.
easy to talk
say
in
points. Yeah,
it
you're
is.
right.
It's
we're talking years.
Years of your life.
That's 5 years you have over what you need.
Exactly. Essentially 5 years wasted and
you could have
money.
been build those points back up again and go hunt twice.
I could have hunted it twice. So that's one of those things. I think we call them out in the application strategy articles, but like as people are evaluating their draw odds and the number of points they have, burn points where it makes sense.
Where it makes sense, yep.
Just like we're saying.
Yeah.
Certain states to me are dream states where I'm fine building them because I know eventually I'll probably draw that tag. If not, I have other hunts I can fill it with in the meantime.
Yep.
Like my dad's side of your story is even worse. My dad, I think, now has 21 points in Colorado for elk.
Oh.
Oh,
He's chasing that northwest corner like
Yeah,
everyone was back in the day. But he's
at that point level, you've only got a couple to choose.
Yeah, and
to
he's
make it worth
so
it.
far over
Everything
the
else.
points. But so you have to give up a ton now to go hunting. He could have
Yeah.
hunted that multiple times. And this was 3-4 years ago. Now I'm not sure what it is now, but literally back in the day, I calculated out for my dad. I was like, Dad, you can't keep doing this. You don't realize how the draw works. You will theoretically never draw if everything goes the same.
Non-resident of Colorado, he's not going to.
He's not. He wasn't going to draw till he was 135 years old. If the system worked out where he finally was at the top point holder.
The preference point system of Colorado.
Yeah,
which essentially locked him out until he got there.
Yeah, so he really will never obtain that in his life, and he needs to change his thing. And now he's going to burn his points probably this year or next year on a hunt that he could have, drawn a long time ago.
14 or 10 at the
And he has
time.
a pile of points, and he just burned those. So that's years, and that's
Yeah.
more important than what the money cost at that point in his life. Like,
And that's why staying up on this stuff is, that's what I think is the most important, is like following these trends, tag quotas, harvest success,
And is it
like all these trends that you can get a feel for the way it's going. All right, am I chasing something that now isn't worth, right? Worth meaning it's entirely up to the individual. Like, should I change my strategy now? It's like it's an ever-changing thing.
Yeah.
And
It's an evolution.
he's lucky with elk. There's other options. But if you were a guy who was heavily invested in like sheep in Wyoming, and now they went to the 90-10,
Yeah, that's tough.
now you were going to obtain it maybe in 5 years. Now it could be 15, 20 years because now it's 90-10. Which
Yep.
do you continue down that path and hope you draw it before you're too old to hunt, or do you bounce out and put that money somewhere else?
Bounce.
Yeah,
Bounce.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
it's tough, man.
Things you got to think about.
Yeah. So I guess going back to priority, which is kind of the second point that I would make, update your points, know what you've got for preference and bonus points across the states. Second, set your priority. What is your priority? Brady's case, it's a species-based thing. He wants to have mule deer tags every year, and then maybe he's going to burn some elk points in one state.
We're kind of in opposite spectrums here.
We
You have a
are.
lot of mule deer points, and I got a lot of elk
know.
points.
Do you want to trade?
I think we need to party
just
out.
do
on
trade.
some of
See,
these.
that's where
Tradesies.
my mind starts to go, which is like, if I can't get what I'm after, and the point creeps jumping, and now the trend is kind of
Yep.
not,
I know where you're
quote
going
unquote
here.
worth it to me. Now the immediate thing I do is start calling best friends. How many points you got? You want to borrow some of mine? Let's go on this hunt together.
Yep.
Like,
So-
I could have drawn this tag 3 years ago, and I chose not to. Why don't we jump in together now? Like,
Yeah.
if we can hit this point level, you can use some of mine. Let's go hunt this together,
And that's,
instead of me just chasing this point creep on a downtrend of a unit.
Yeah.
and that's a great strategy.
That's
But I don't.
that's where my mind goes
Mhm.
consistently.
There's all these little. I don't know if I'd call them loopholes. They're just things that exist, like
It's
group
just part of the game.
applications.
Yeah,
It's part of the game. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not up on those and you're
Yeah.
not utilizing
Agreed.
them. Like group applications.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing more fun to me than hunting with my brother, dad, or best friends, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's as good as it gets. Now, would I take an Arizona strip tag on my own? Of course. I mean, I love everyone, but
Twist my arm.
let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
Would I take that by myself? Yeah, of course I would. But like, as the game changes and strategies kind of the ebbs and flows of it, it's like, all right, let's turn this into a best friend hunt, a dad hunt, that kind of
That's
stuff.
exactly what I'm doing
Father-son.
in Wyoming. I have 9 points for antelope.
Yeah, so
I could draw a bomber unit by myself, but I want to carry my dad in and go on a really fun hunt together.
Yeah.
Have him shoot one of his biggest antelope ever
Yep.
in a mediocre unit. I could obviously go for something higher, but I'm not going to be selfish, and I just want to hunt with my dad again.
You're gonna, at that rate, you're still gonna draw a great
Still going to
tag.
draw a great tag because
Yeah.
he also has now quite a few points, but because I
Yeah,
told
it's
him to
just
start
not
applying.
the name brand,
Mhm.
so to
Yeah,
speak, kind of
exactly.
a tag.
Same thing I
Yeah.
do with my brothers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say pick your priority, whether that's species, whether it's, like Lorenzo and I, and kind of trying to utilize the points to the best of their ability for whatever the species is.
Going into that current year.
Going into that current year, make the most of the points that you've got regardless of species.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to change the strategy. Like, I've been chasing Arizona for 14 years for one reason.
Yeah.
And it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's like, it's not worth it now.
Yeah.
It's literally not worth it. So, like, let's change it.
What do you do for people that don't have any points? I mean, there's a lot of people.
That's
that
what I
are-
was trying to
that are-
speak to in the beginning. Like, it's still fairly fresh for me, right? It's 2010. Like, it is sitting down, cost-benefit analysis on each one of these states. Can be overwhelming. Completely fucking shameless plug here, but Insider, this is what it was bred out of. That's why Insider is so meaningful, especially to somebody trying to jump in and do this cost-benefit analysis of like, all right, I'm jumping in this year. What am I doing? What's my go-to? Right? Like, I want to hunt this year. Cool. Here's all your over-the-counters. Here's your 0 points. You can figure all that out, and then you can really start to understand these states, their mid-level average opportunities. They're high-tier level opportunities. What's going to take to get there? I wish we had it back when I was doing this in 2010. That's what it's bred out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there hunts that people can go on with no points?
100%.
Quite a few.
There is so much, like we always say about the opportunity in the West, and people say more people are applying, it's getting harder to draw certain tags, but there is still a ton of opportunity. You have all sorts of tags you can draw second choice. You can gain a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still that.
There's 100% draw units that you can draw tag this year to go hunting. There's still over-the-counter stuff.
Yep.
There's a lot of low opportunity things out there. Yeah, some people might say the low opportunity for a reason, but you're still hunting.
Do you think if you had 0 points wanting to get into hunting this year, do you guys feel like you had to be proficient in all 3 weapon types?
It's going to definitely benefit you in the long run.
So.
Especially that archery and muzzleloader, how they're a little
Yeah.
easier to obtain. Like if you want to be a multi-weapon hunter, like it's going to benefit you big time rather than just sticking out with the rifle and waiting.
And the reason I ask is some of the advice that I hand out to family, friends, and people who have seen Go Hunt, know me, want to get into it. They have families now. They want more experiential type things with their families. I tell them, my personal opinion, the best thing you could do is be proficient in weapon types and just kind of just put your tentacles in all the pools. Get them as far out in there as you possibly can. I do think you can hunt just rifle. I do think there's opportunity for 0 points. That I think it goes up quite substantially if you're proficient in all 3 weapon types.
What do you tell someone who has 0 points and is looking to get in the West?
Yeah, I tell them absolutely. I mean, if you want to go hunting, there's definitely hunts that you can do with no points, but apply and buy points where it makes sense now.
Yep.
Start.
Cost benefit analysis
And
on what
not,
you want out of that state.
Yeah, not just one state. Buy them in every state that it makes sense. So it doesn't take that many years for you just buying points and then going on opportunity type of hunts in a state like Colorado or Idaho or even Utah for that matter. Maybe you go hunt spike elk or any bull units in Utah, right? It doesn't take that many years of doing those types of hunts and then building points in some of these other states to then you put yourself into a position where you can draw a tag every year in a different state for a different species and go on a pretty damn good hunt.
Have that multi-year strategy.
Yeah. So I would say buy points, apply for points where it makes sense. And in most cases, it does make sense in every state especially for deer, elk, and antelope. And then, you get into the big 5, those once in a lifetime type species, maybe not. Just depends on what you've got for a checkbook, but
I'll tell you though, if you do get into hunting and you don't do that, 10 years from now when you get hit by the hunting bug pretty hard, you're going to be pissed you didn't start buying those points.
I'm pissed that I didn't. I mean, I could have when I was in high school, I could have bought a lifetime deer license in my home state of Utah for $500, and I was like, this is asinine. $500 for a deer tag for my life. Get bent, like I can buy that at my local gas station every year. And now I haven't had a deer tag in my home state for 4 years, be pretty sick to have a lifetime deer tag.
No question.
That's just one example, but I mean, to the same point, you're going to wish that you had.
For sure.
And this is where too, I think people who live in some of these states that have so much opportunity still need to be looking outside their home state for the future. Like if you live in Montana, Wyoming, you can hunt every single year over the counter for there's so much opportunity there. So why would you ever leave that state? A lot of my friends think that all the time. They don't build points anywhere else. But it's like eventually down the road, you might have some more free time. You might want to go venture off and try something new, or a job takes you somewhere else, a different state. Now you don't have any points built up in that state. Like you just never know what your future is going to hold, how addicted to hunting you're going to get, and wish you would have built points back in the day when you can. Even though your state's so great, things can change in that state.
And just be fairly generalized statement here, but if you are just buying points, it relatively not that expensive, right? Like comparatively to the rest of hunting and applications. If you just go into some of these states, just buying points for if you do live in a state, like Wyoming, Montana, where you can get taken care of. It's relatively cheap to buy these points, and maybe 10 years from now you're bored of hunting the same, or you're bored of hunting your home state. Now you have like this swath of points to.
Yeah, and I can go crazy for a couple years.
And you were hunting the whole time in between.
Yep.
Like there's no reason not to.
Yeah, but going back, I do think you can hunt with no points. I mean, there's a lot of archery hunts in Colorado that are over the counter, second, third rifle season elk over the counter. There's a bunch of units that you can draw with no points, whether that's muzzleloader rifle or archery. there's Utah's got the spike hunt. They've got any bull units. They just opened up 5 additional any bull units this year, and those might be decent for a few years before they kind of get shot out. But I think the spike hunt in Utah is a lot of fun. I know a lot of people that do that, and I mean it's just an opportunity to get out and go hunting.
Yeah.
Which again really showcases the power of Insider. Like we say it all the time, but like it literally shows you all the opportunities in the West from whatever you want. You want an antelope, doe antelope hunt, cow elk, spike elk. Like we show that opportunity.
Yeah, and I typically what I tell people, if you're not an insider or you are a member, one of the easiest ways to find those types of hunts is just to pull up Filtering 2.0, pick the state, pick the species you're interested in, hit the drop-down menu on the far right. That's the select season, and within that select season drop-down menu, you've got all your different seasons. And if there is an over-the-counter option there, it's going to identify it right there.
Yep.
So you just click on, for example, archery over-the-counter, elk, Colorado. It's going to show you all the units where those are available.
Yeah, and it's fun just to jump on there too. Even if you're thinking about going to the States, I mean, you just jump on there, play with the filter, start seeing what opportunity it is, what the point level is for those states, manipulate all those filters. They're there for a reason because they're very powerful to quickly narrow down a unit, because it is a daunting task to look at a state and be like, okay, where do I start from here?
Yeah.
There's 100 whatever plus units. How do I narrow it down to where I want to go and what I actually can obtain? Because if you open up a regulation book, it's not really going to do you much besides saying, hey, there's the season dates. Maybe here's, tag numbers, that sort of thing. But like, how do I go about getting that tag?
Yeah, it's Greek.
Yeah, that's why, like we said, like we can't harp on application strategies and the power that is in there enough. Like even just diving down to some of those like graphics that we build in there. Like those are graphics and stuff that you won't find anywhere else on the Insider product, but those app strategies. And I even go back and read previous year's one. I want to see, what was trending through there, what we're kind of talking about, what the numbers are like. Because we always do those herd population numbers and app strategies and dive into different, graphics and whatever else in there to see what those are. Like you can even, like right now, even though we don't have some of these states, live yet app strategies because the rules and regs aren't set for the state. Like I could go back right now, read Colorado's from last year to start kind of preparing my Colorado strategy for this year. Especially all the other Insider only articles that we have too. Like, geez, you can jump on there and read
you can go down rabbit holes.
There's a big giant rabbit hole.
One thing I will say, a lot of this is going to require some effort.
It definitely does. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I hear from people and they'll say it's, I see all this, I see all the tools, I see, the application strategy articles, I see Filtering 2.0, I see draw odds. I still don't, I don't know what to do. It's still work. Like you still got to dive in and you've got to do some research on your own. Right. And like I said, I typically tell people start with an application strategy article, read through that first page, 2 pages, kind of get an idea of what that whole state is about, and then dive down some of these other rabbit holes.
Yeah, jump over to a state profile. Like I don't think a lot of people realize we have the state profiles too. That also gives a lot of information, gives all the cost breakdown. Jump into a species profile, learn a little bit more about that species in that state.
But it's going to take some effort.
It's going to take some diving in and playing around on there, but that's what the winter's for. Like we're all itching cabin fever. You want to check out some things and learn more. And
well, if you can't hunt, don't you want to think about hunting?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah, and I love application season. It's like Brady said. I love it. I like the game.
Me
too. Love the game. I've always liked it.
I'm not very lucky when it comes to like drawing random tags. I haven't drawn random tags in my lifetime really that were like kind of out of the blue.
I've drawn one.
Have you? Oh, a sheep tag. Yeah, that's right. That's a big
2012
one.
New Mexico desert sheep.
That's a pretty big one.
2 years into what I was doing.
Wow.
Yeah. So talk about. I
always try to tell people I'm unlucky in the draw too, and then my close friends would be like, "You motherfucker, you have no idea."
Yeah.
Like I did draw a sheep tag.
Yeah, I mean, I drew an elk tag in Utah last year, but I cashed my points in on it.
You were chasing.
I knew I was going to draw that, but I still seeing that successful in the emails. Pretty nice.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
How do you approach some of these states that have just random odds?
Random meaning no point system at all. So there's a couple, right? New Mexico, I should say a couple that jump to mind, right? So New Mexico and Idaho are kind of the big ones.
Big ones, yep.
New Mexico, I think, is still relatively cheap to apply in because you only have to buy the hunting license, which is like $65 plus your app fees, which is I think $13 per species. And you do have to front the cost of all those that you apply for, the licenses. So I don't apply for everything in New Mexico because I
It's a
just
big,
simply
giant
can't.
cost.
And I want to get into this too, budget. I want to talk about budget
Yeah.
and like how you guys handle budget. I'd be curious because what I'm doing isn't working.
I think I'm on the same one as you.
You are?
Yeah.
Is it the one where your credit card company's
Yeah,
calling and like,
it's
hey,
pretty heavy.
They hold it for quite a while.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Especially-
some states like
especially
Wyoming,
Wyoming.
yeah, I mean
Oh.
they hold that thing for months.
Yeah.
You know, so there's something there. We'll talk about budget here in a sec, but like I said, I apply for like deer, elk, and antelope.
Do you go like stuff you're not going to obtain and just shoot for the stars, or are you like trying to find a hunt you can get this year? Because you can play around in that, like just keep
Mhm.
shooting for stars every year for a minimum fee, or you could get something obtainable,
Yeah.
potentially obtainable.
So New Mexico, you get 3 choices. I typically swing for the fences with the first choice, second choice kind of middle of the road, and then a third choice. I still want a good hunt. I'm not driving to New Mexico to hunt some of those units, you know, where access is extremely tough. The elk herd's low. So I'm not really including those as my third choice, even though odds are better.
Is that because you apply in other states?
Yeah,
Pretty
it
much.
is. Yeah. I mean, it's because I've got 8 points in Colorado and
Yeah,
can draw
exactly.
no tag there. I've got 6 in Wyoming.
And
can
you're
draw
just
a
again
tag there.
weighing your option
Mhm.
is better spent in another state than maybe.
Yeah. If I do draw in New Mexico right now, like for this example this year, if I do draw a tag in New Mexico, I want it to be a better tag than I could get with my 8 points in Colorado or my 6 in Wyoming.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's kind of how I approach, you know, I don't apply for, you know, bighorn sheep. You drew a bighorn sheep tag,
Yep.
right? I mean, I don't apply always. I have.
But that was back when
Yeah.
the game was different.
Yeah.
It was.
So
It's a
yeah,
lot
there
more
was
technical.
no right. So in doing the research and kind of the cost benefit analysis,
Mhm.
there was no cap on non-resident to resident tag draw. So like there was just a I can't remember exactly the amount of sheep tags available for that year. I think it was 20
Yeah, I sort of
for the
remember.
entire state. But there was no cap on non-residents. So theoretically, non-residents could draw all 20.
Hmm.
And if I remember correctly, the vast majority of the year that I drew my tag was all non-residents. Like very few went actually to residents.
Hmm.
And they have since changed that law where now residents get, I think it's 90-10 or maybe it's
I
82,
don't know
something
what
like
it is.
that.
I'd
Can't
have
remember
to-
the exact, but there is a cap on non-residents now.
Mhm.
So back when I was applying for it, I mean, I saw it as just a complete lottery. Why not? Like, why
Yeah.
not? There is no one has more preference points than me. No resident has priority over me. Like, we're all in the same pool. Let's do it.
One thing I will say about
that's why I applied.
states like that, if you've got the credit card money, if you've got that money in a bank account with a debit card, apply for any and all.
Oh,
Yes, I would
Because
entirely
you never
agree.
know.
Never
I mean,
know.
if you can float $10,000 on your credit card or a debit card for the state of New Mexico, why not? I mean, it's a random draw. You might as well.
Yep.
And there's something to be said that it is that expensive. You don't have the entire public doing
Yeah,
that, right?
ki-
That's just the
kinda-
reality of it. It's just reality.
It's, yeah, I
That's-
don't,
that's
I don't
what I
apply
wish-
for orcs and bighorn
Yeah.
sheep and everything the same year.
That's what I kind of got disappointed in when Montana switched it, when you used to have
Mhm.
to front all it for the big three, and
Yeah.
now it just opens up more. The state's obviously getting more money because now they're getting more fees from more people.
people.
But back then, you had to be really serious when you applied for the big species, and it kind
Yeah.
of made the odds a little bit better for the serious people. Now everyone's brother, grandma, friend, cousin is all applying for it.
Same with Colorado when you used to have to write your check and
Yeah.
fill
Write
out
your
your
check.
paper application and
Yep.
send it
Paper
in
app
for a
was a
moose
big
sheep
deal.
and goat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think states should go back to that?
Oh, is that just going to make our results come back longer and hold our money more, or more?
I
time?
couldn't afford it.
It always scared me back in the day when I was applying in Colorado, filling it out, because I was so nervous I was
Yeah.
mess
I
something
like
up and they toss my app out.
I like the level game. I like the level playing field.
You mean
Where-
the way it is now? You mean?
Yeah, or the generals.
Yeah,
can
everybody
apply.
gets a chance.
It's better
kinda.
for the state for conservation. It's better
Yep,
for
more
the
money.
Pittman
More money.
fund that they can tap
Mhm.
into. It's better for all. It's better for, like
Mhm.
there's already the stigma that hunting's becoming a rich man's game. If all the states started, it gets expensive quick.
Oh,
well, and here the thing, it would be interesting to go back and look, but like statistically, how much better would the odds have been then versus now? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. I don't know
Something
what
to
they
be
are.
said. I drew a sheep tag,
You
but I mean that's an anecdotal little piece of.
Yeah, but somebody's
Evidence
going
there.
to draw that sheep tag
Yeah, of course.
every year.
And
Somebody's
it
going to
just-
drop the moose tag
And
you
it so
know.
happened to be me. It was
Yeah. And it wouldn't have been if you hadn't applied.
exactly.
Point being, you applied.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you guys approach budget? Because I think that's probably like the next step for me is to like think about my budget.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how I approach it. I have a credit card. I put things on my credit card. I try to pay it off throughout the year. I probably end up paying a shit ton more in interest than I do, but it's just the facts. Like, it's important to me. That's where I've got some money to put into, to applications. And that's kind of how I do it. But
I'm pretty much the same way.
Is that what you do?
I know what I want to apply for. I know every year is going to be a hurt, but I have to do it because I want that potential to draw one of these tags. Like, I don't go crazy into Mexico. I literally just do, deer and aoudad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do really anything else. I probably should because I'm already deep in credit card, like burning a hole in my pocket anyway. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's some states I just will not do because I don't think it doesn't fit, and I don't see the long run of building a point in a certain state. So I avoid that on my app completely and totally washed away certain states. Never will apply there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know this time of year it's going to be heavy in the credit card, so I got to watch what I spend in other areas to keep these apps going and keep the money floating out there.
Yeah.
There's always that chance.
Do you put everything on a credit card then?
Credit card, yeah.
Just one, or do you have multiple?
I just have to do it on one. Yeah. I've always thought about trying to figure out if it's beneficial to do a separate one and try to figure out low, what rates I can get on some other stuff. But
do you do anything special with like the card that you get? I know people are big on, like Alaska Airlines card, for example, where they build miles on their purchases. Do you do anything like that?
Mine's pretty good I get airline miles and I get quite a bit of them, but I'm also thinking about a cashback card would probably be a little bit better for an app-based card. Like, I've always thought that Alaska one, but I don't really go up to Alaska that often. I'm not like...
You might if you had miles.
I know.
Yeah, no shit. It's a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But getting one of those cards like that would be beneficial, especially, build those miles and you get that free, free flight. Is there still a free flight a year in Alaska Airlines?
I don't know.
I thought back in the day.
Neville has one.
Yeah, so I think
is that
one free thing or something with your card.
That'd be incredible.
I love Alaska Airlines too. I mean, big shout out Alaska Airlines. It's incredible. I've never had an issue on Alaska. And
they're always
in Vegas, little local trick here. Alaska's at a Terminal 3, which is
way easier to fly out of.
Dead. No lines, no nothing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. You don't have to go through the bullshit of the
That's true.
normal terminal.
Every
That's
time
my
I've flown
go-to.
from Alaska,
I always look, if I'm going somewhere, I always look at Alaska first.
Yeah. I do think you have to be realistic, though, like with what you apply for. I mean, you can't absolutely apply for it. I mean, some people can. If you can, great, go for it. I think you should.
I'm the asshole that can.
I think it's great.
And I mean, I have two credit cards. I have a primary, I have an American Express for my everyday life. And then I have a secondary card, Visa, for all my interesting stuff, right? A lot of states don't take Amex. So I have a Visa card, I can't remember which one it is. My brother-in-law is like the most well-versed person on the planet with credit cards.
Really?
Yeah. Oh God,
we should get him on the podcast.
He knows everything about. We should.
Yeah, really.
Colton,
there's probably something we're not doing.
I mean, honest to God, something like that would be great.
Actually, that was a really good idea. He knows like all the ins and outs. So, anyways, I have this Visa. I can't remember which one it is, which I apply for New Mexico, and I apply for. My whole thing right now is my son and where he's at in his life. So it's time-based for me. So like depending on why I'm applying for in that state, when the hunt is that I'm potentially trying to draw, all this stuff, right? But I have that secondary Visa that I apply for all the states on. And I just let that one sit, and then so I can manage my day-to-day life on my Amex. And then I have this one that's for essentially hunting more than anything else.
Yeah, and one little tip, putting things on a credit card, some states like Utah, you can kind of get your results back by checking your credit card. That's one nice thing about if you've got the money to put it on a debit card, because your debit card typically updates so quickly, right?
So you see
as soon as that charge hits, you can check your account, that you drew.
I'm always jealous of the people that know a couple days in advance because of that.
Yep.
I've thought about doing it, but then you have to set up a whole other bank account with that money in it. Credit card's pretty easy.
I'm always nervous too during the app season to make sure my credit card doesn't if I get a new credit card number, like what am I going to do for these apps?
That's the one downfall to my system, because it's my secondary card. So like I'm not up on it all the time, right? Like I'm not looking at it all the time. I'm not like making sure it's paid off, making sure it's this, making sure it's that. So every year come application season, I'm like calling, is everything good? Yep. Got my current billing? Yep. Okay. Got to get it all situated again.
Yeah, and there's some states that if you draw a permit and your card is rejected,
see you later.
Arizona's one of them. If they try to charge your card and it doesn't work, it's expired, or there's some issue with it, they just reject it and move on to the next person. Yep. So You definitely have to make sure that your card is up to date and ready to go.
Yeah. But speaking of like the New Mexico float and all that stuff, man, like what an opportunity to be able to go hunt some of those animals.
Oh yeah, I
Out
mean,
here.
where else can you hunt?
And that's what I see is the cost benefit analysis is like,
Mhm.
look, is it painful? Yeah, of course. I mean, fuck, how is that not painful? But I see it as a realistic opportunity, and it's a short-term pain for potentially something I'll be able to do.
Yeah.
And New Mexico's
the way I see it.
a little bit better at turning around
They are better.
their results and
They
getting
are
you a
better.
refund than in a state like Wyoming is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Montana, right? You got to front the
Yeah.
big game combo.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, it always
$1,000.
makes me wonder why
Was
states
that
hold
what's
it for
that
so
big
long.
game combo? 12?
Yeah,
bucks?
It's over. It's 1,000.
1,000 something.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But
I
it's
don't
like,
apply. I don't apply there. I don't do that one.
you have a state like Nevada that turns and burns them in now almost a week. It seems like.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Nevada's quick.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of states that require you to front the cost of the entire licenses that you apply for. It's just hard on me, you know.
Yeah.
But especially when you're applying for your kids and
Yeah, my kid.
Oh man, I can't imagine that.
Yeah,
Like
you
honestly, I know that's and believe me, I've had those
Yeah.
like thoughts in my mind. I'm like, God, this is crazy, right? And then want to get my son, my wife. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
holy shit! I don't apply my wife in New Mexico. Don't tell her.
Yeah.
You know, like it,
Yeah.
it gets expensive.
That's why it's useful though to jump in and figure out when some of these states do post their results and when you might get your refund back, because then you can turn
Mhm.
around and use that money you got from the refund, apply it towards another state right away.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. And when I say not a big fan, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I still apply where it makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
I still apply my kids where it makes sense for me and what I can afford. It's just it's a necessary evil, if you will. I mean, and if you wanna draw a tag, you wanna go hunting. It's just part of the process. It's just how much it matters to you.
yeah.
How do you put weight on some states that you might just completely avoid? How do you determine which ones you're just going to cross off? And
Montana's for me. Montana's that for me.
Yeah.
I was in school there. I hunted Montana a lot. I love Montana. Everything about it, honestly. But just
It's a long way from Nevada.
that's the way I see it. Is there are more and, in my opinion, better hunts closer to me than Montana.
Yeah, if you're a resident, it'd be a little bit different.
Totally
'Cause you could
different.
grind up because that's a
If I
11-week season.
if I lived northern Utah, if I lived Wyoming,
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
lived any of that stuff,
Yeah.
of course.
You have a 6-week archery, 5-week rifle season,
Oh,
and all
it's
the other
amazing.
opportunities, so
It's
you can go more to make
But
it
that
beneficial.
so that doesn't entice me at this stage in my life though with my son
Yep.
and my family and the business, and that's too much freedom for me. Like
Mhm.
I'd fuck it up. I would get in a bad spot. My son would hate me. Who knows what would happen with Porter? This showroom would turn into a Lululemon store. Who knows? Who knows what would happen?
Yes, Porter.
Love you, Porter. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just that's too much freedom for me. I'm not attracted to that at this point in my life. There will be a time that's entirely what I'm looking for.
Yep.
But that state is off the list for me. That's just I don't apply there.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me, it's a cost benefit. So a state like Washington or Oregon, I just don't
Mhm.
feel like the hunts that I could draw are justifiably better, you know, for the points that I would have to and the cost I would have
And
to
again, a
put
long
into
ways
a plan.
away.
A long ways away.
Yeah, and even the over-the-counter stuff there, like you could potentially go do that, but again, because you have better hunts closer to home
Yeah.
and where you're at, and we're fortunate to live in the West, so it's a little
Mhm.
Yeah.
easier to go to some of these places.
Yeah.
Do you see your money better spent? Let's just say, like, take budget out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take travel and time out. Would you apply in Oregon, Washington, or would you try to pick up like maybe a hunt lease on a whitetail, back east somewhere?
There's some species I might apply for.
Really?
Yeah. But in saying that, I mean, okay. So if I had all the money in the world and the time, I would.
I'm not saying all the money in
Sure,
the world because
okay.
that makes everything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Of course you would do it.
Yeah.
Why not do it? I'm just saying you're still budgeting, but you were
Mhm.
enough to like
Mhm.
you were going hunting.
I would put it on a whitetail
Me
lease.
too.
Exactly.
That's what I see. There.
Yeah.
So some of this like cost benefit.
Yeah.
Like man, if I ever get to
I would put
all these states, I would rather pick up a really good whitetail lease
Yeah.
or like a really good whitetail spot.
I would
That's
put
what
it into
do.
a plane ticket and a tag for caribou in Alaska.
Or that- or that,
or
exactly.
moose, or
Could
blacktail.
you
Yeah.
could you not apply for all the sheep species in the West and just go, or moose? We'll do moose for example. Not apply for all the moose hunts and just go book a hunt
Yeah,
in BC
for sure. And
Like
this is
eventually, 20 some years down the road, if you all those app fees, it's not going to equal that hunt, but it's going to come close to it, and you're never guaranteed
the
to draw
thing is,
that
though,
down
is
here.
we talk again, right? We talk points. That's years of your life. So like, it's not just the money; it's the entire year cycle of things you gained, lost, life changes. It's just different. It's really different than just banking it and saying I'm doing it this year. Everything's planned around it. It's done, right?
Yep.
Like it's. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, right, you do start to, in the cost benefit analysis I start going down that path too with some of these states and their applications. Is it worth it? Is it not? Where do I live? Are their hunts better? Or is there something entirely different that I can just front the money to go do now, like the Caribou Alaska, which I haven't done, or Moose Alaska, which I haven't done, or Whitetail, which I have done, right? Like I've started to find my money better spent on some whitetail stuff,
especially
some of these other state applications.
Especially if your friend is on the same board as you and you guys now pool your money together to go do 100%.
that. What I've been doing with Clay Hill for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
We've done Kansas, we've done Texas. I mean, I've found my money
better spent there.
I wouldn't even say like more enjoyably spent doing that. Something to bank on, set dates. That's where my mind is in my life right now, is set dates, plan around it, best friend, like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
What do you think your favorite tool is on Insider that you use the most during this time of year? Obviously, you're heavily invested in app strategy, so I know that's a good baby, and definitely people need to check that out. But maybe besides for that,
so mine might be a little bit different, and I say that because of the level of experience that I have maybe versus some other people. I mean, you have to understand that like you and I live in that realm every day.
Yep.
Like I've looked at a map of I could probably draw you a map of the elk units in Wyoming better than I could, and label them better than I could the states in the United States. Like
I don't doubt that. Like at all.
like really, I could. I've looked at that state. I've looked at a lot of the states, right?
Yeah.
Utah, New Mexico, all of them. So for me, I kind of know the ins and outs of like the units and what they offer. I even kind of have a decent understanding of what a hunt might be like in that. So I use draw odds a shit ton.
Standalone draw odds.
Standalone draw odds, and that's like one that I use a ton right now because I'm going to populate my points. I'm just going to quickly run down through those standalone draw odds, and I'm going to pick the 4 or 5 that are within my realm. And then I'm going to start kind of looking at those individual ones, like, okay, maybe that one might be the one, I'm going to start doing some research on those individual hunts. But I would say
put them into your hunt planner and start bouncing back and forth on comparisons.
And that's something we should talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I find myself doing that a lot.
I would say standalone draws is a big one for me, but that may not necessarily be the case for everybody, because if you're new to hunting, you don't have this huge, breadth of understanding of all the individual units and what they might offer in terms of trophy potential and terrain and harvest success and all that stuff. You may start with filtering 2.0 just because it's easy.
Yep. And the nice thing too about like you can do draw odds on filtering 2.0.
You can.
But like you said, for you and I think we both are cut from the same cloth in that regard. Like we use standalone draw odds quite a bit. And that's a separate area on the website. Like I said, you can do draw odds on filtering 2.0, but the standalone draw odds is very powerful, and you can still filter out by select season type. So if you don't want to see that giant list when you jump into Colorado, you just want to see archery, you can select the archery season, and boom, now you're just looking at the archery ones. And it's going to throw your point in there in the middle. You can easily see your point level all the way down because you have all that stuff entered in from Point Tracker. And like you said, that was the next thing I wanted to get into, which I was glad.
I got a couple things I want to get into, but
the hunt planner.
Okay, before we jump into hunt planner, let me ask you about point creep.
Oh, buddy.
Oh.
So every single year, I guarantee you get DMs, I get DMs, you get DMs. You probably don't get DMs, you get emails, I bet.
I'm not on social, but yes.
But
I get scathing text messages.
Somebody will say, I had 8 points. Your draw odds said 100% odds at 8 points. For this hunt, I didn't draw.
Yep. What is the reason for that, Trail? What's the term?
It's called point creep. So essentially
such a nasty term.
Yeah, it is. Creep, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the best songs out there, though.
It is a good song. I just listened to that the other day, actually.
It's a great song.
Yeah. Anyway, point creep, pretty simply explained, is you've got less permits than there are. No, did I say that wrong?
You're going to go there.
I'm creeping myself out right. So you have more applicants than there are permits for a hunt, right? Yep. In a point system. So let's take Colorado, for example. Let's say you've got 5 permits. you've got 10 people at max points that are all kind of vying for those 5 permits, right? And 5 of them are going to draw. So that same hunt the next year is going to take 1 additional point to draw.
Yep, because you have more people with higher point levels jumping in who are now going to get those tags where typically it was 5 points, but now you might have had a bunch of guys who had 6, 7, 8 who decided just to want to burn their points and want to get out of the point system. And so they're jumping in on that hunt, which is creeping that point up because now it's taking more points to draw.
Yep. So it's just this creep in points. It's a hunt takes 1 additional point or 2 additional points, depends on how people apply, right?
Yep.
So that's what point creep is. How do you tell people to use draw odds in regards to point creep?
That's the best way to do it is to literally jump on standalone draw odds. You can see your point level throughout the years, and you can look at the points it's taking to draw and how many people are applying and how many people didn't draw potentially, and then you can take that into account. Like, okay, there was X number of people who applied and didn't draw. Now that's going to be on top of this number this year, and then you can say, well, it's been creeping up 1 point every year, and there's still a base number of people, so it's going to be now an additional point next year. You can kind of look at that trend throughout that data, and I think that's why you and I both use standalone draw odds all the time. You can predict basically point creep on there, especially when you can see some of those permit numbers going down and still those app numbers are going up. You can predict there's going to be creep there.
Yeah.
So you have to look into that account. That's why
the hard part though is you can never fully predict.
No, you can never fully predict.
You got some a-holes out there.
Because it could jump a lot. Like my dad, for example,
like,
with his max, with
you
his
guys just stop doing that.
With his giant points, he's going to eventually jump into a lower unit. That's going to create that point creep in that unit. And so you can't fully
Brady,
predict
man,
it.
He's one of the a-holes.
Yep. So you can't predict odds. The odds, I don't know if people are aware, but the odds that you're looking at on your GoHunt Insider account are not predicted odds.
Yep.
You can't predict
You can't predict an odds because I can't predict where people are going to apply with how many points because people jump, they don't apply.
And how many people have been building points for all those years and now are going to finally apply in the point system?
Yeah.
Me in Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm one of those
a lot of people in Wyoming.
I've been banking points, buying points, chasing that one thing. It's on the downswing. I'm going to burn them.
And you can tell sometimes, too, when you have trends in like winter kill stuff. All of a sudden you have winter kill one year. People are going to be scared to apply for the next couple of years, and all of a sudden the herd numbers might get back up and they're going to jump in. And you can see that like
in
Wyoming last year we saw it.
Yeah, so we don't predict draw odds. What we do is we provide the known information. So the number of applicants, the number of points that each applicant had that applied, and the odds based on the last draw, which is known data. That's hard data. And then you're saying you can go into these detailed draw odds pages for each hunt that you're considering, and there's going to be 5 years of data within that. So you can see the number of applicants at each point level and where permits were allocated. Right. So you can use those, and it takes a little bit of like.
Yep. That's where we always say like there's tools in Insider, but if you use these tools together and then look at the bigger picture of an individual unit in the detailed draw odds page, which is not the standalone one where you see all the units, you have to click into an individual unit, and then you get to the detail page where you can see those numbers.
Yep. So understand that if you're gonna look at draw odds, you got to do a little bit of work. You've got an article on point creep and how it works and how to use the detailed draw odds page to help you predict point creep. Typically, I tell people if you don't want to try to wrap your head around this, look at the point level 1 or 2 less than what you currently have, and that might put you in the ballpark.
Yep.
But ideally, it's best to look at the detailed draw odds pages.
And when do we get this the most? Wyoming elk.
Yeah.
It seems like it's always creeping.
Yeah, Wyoming elk. 17 years deep. Do you guys believe that?
That is crazy.
17 years deep, their preference point system.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That happened quick.
Yeah, it did. It
happened real quick.
Yeah. How do you guys dictate your time spent? I mean, what are you looking at this year as far as, I mean, ideally, I think we'd all like to hunt as much as we possibly can. How do you navigate that with like work, family? Is that something that you guys think about when you're looking at your hunt schedule for the year?
My first thing I think about.
The first thing?
Yep. Like with where my life is now with the business and my family. It's the very first thing I look at. So that's why I like that structured. What am I after? What am I looking for? That's why Arizona's top of my mind is, okay, I can guarantee where I'm going to land, essentially guarantee where I'm going to land here, hunt with the best friend in these dates. Here's what I'm looking at. You're right. So I've been chasing coos deer in Arizona, and I have a pile of points if that's what I'm chasing, but I just haven't been able to catch the one hunt I'm after because of the a-holes that keep jumping in. So thought I was close there for a little bit while the unit was on a streaking path, which would have been awesome. But hey, it's the way it goes. So the first thing I'm looking at is like, okay, that's where I'm willing to burn my points. I know some other hunts that I have been interested in, and now I'm like very interested in. Pick the dates, get with my friend, do it, and that's where I'm situated. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I'm looking for first and foremost, is like that guaranteed one for this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I start.
Yeah. Do you at home? You're married.
Mm-hmm.
Is Taylor pretty good about cutting you time off to go
Phenomenal.
hunt?
That's why I married her.
Yeah. So
That's why
do you run that past? Do you guys work strategies out together when you're working through that?
I have an amazing in-law group on her side,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I mean, it's my responsibility as a husband and father. I mean,
Sure.
I have responsibilities in life to like
Yeah.
make sure everything's situated, but I do have that backing
A
of them.
backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Backing.
yeah.
Support group.
So I can, I've dropped some quick ones on her when
Mhm.
an opportunity has popped up, turn back tag, leftover tag, somebody, whatever. But yeah, that's why I married her. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky in that I think from the get-go it was kind of known. I
Yeah.
made it known.
I made it known too.
Yeah, that like this is really important to me. I was going to be doing a lot of this, and then also working here and within
Yeah.
the industry, we have a lot of time off to hunt. But I would say, I talk to people all the time that like either have strained relationships, strained jobs, for hunting. So I would say plan ahead, plan early.
That's what it's
Yeah.
all
And
about.
that's a
Communication.
communication. Yeah,
That's a big
major
one.
consideration that
Yeah.
you need to make before.
Yeah. I get such a common misconception all the time of like, meeting new people. Yeah, I have a business in the hunting industry, and
Mhm.
you must be able to hunt a ton. Actually, no. Like
There's a lot of work.
relatively speaking,
Yeah.
I mean, do I get to hunt more than most? Yeah, because it is essentially part of the job. But at the same time, like this is my whatever you
Mhm.
want to call it. So it's like,
Yeah, you're not just out there hunting on
no,
your own all
the
the
priority
time. Mhm.
is my family and this, and then that's where I find the time for the rest of it. So like, there's different levels of, I fully understand some people get 1 week off, 2 weeks off. That is vastly different from us, but we are still very focused on priority first, and then where does a hunt fit
Yep.
Mhm.
secondarily to that. So it's kind of the same boat, just in a different level.
And we even balance it internally at the office, like
Yeah.
trying to be gone at the same time so we
Yeah.
can make sure
I know,
the
it's just such a bummer.
content has to go out every single day. Content never sleeps.
I know Lorenzo and Porter, they have to figure their schedules out. So somebody's here, Brady and I.
This is the first year ever Porter and I hunted together,
Yeah.
like truly out of the office together.
See how okay everything stays?
Yeah, see,
it's pretty
see? It was still floating.
Just kidding. I don't
Pretty
know.
good.
Maybe about burned down when we were gone.
We won't know if that's the truth, but yeah,
Maybe
potentially that's the
maybe
case.
everybody else just took the entire week off and we don't even know it.
I don't doubt it.
Roll the tape.
Yeah. Is there anything
Oh.
else you guys think about in terms like to get ready for application season? Anything else that strikes a chord with you? I mean, those are kind of the big ones for me as I think about it. As I put a plan in place, it's typically, what's my priority? What do I want to hunt?
Uh-huh.
Is it points driven? Is it species driven?
Yep.
2, know where your points are. If you don't have any points, that's okay. You can still go hunting, but build points.
Build points.
Start now. Build
I
points.
can tell you what's a quick second in my mind behind like that, the one I'm chasing or the one I want to do for that year, like
Mhm.
the one I set my sights on, is what can I take my son? Well, like where
Yeah.
can I take my son? So every year since I've had him, and I've been able to hunt with him, it's always, okay, I have this one. Now I need to find an opportunity hunt that I can take him on, right?
Yep.
So a lot of
Yep.
late season deer, window time, see a lot of animals. I don't give a shit what we kill.
Yeah,
you know.
and you bring up a good point. I just finished an insider article where I outlined kind of youth opportunities in the western states. We'll release Wyoming and Arizona first. And
Yep,
then
that one's actually dropping today while we're recording this.
okay, yeah,
Nice.
and that's specific to youth.
Yep.
I've got 2 kids that are hunting age. It's actually funny. A lot of states give either permits or cost breaks on youth tags. So like my oldest kid, he's 17. This will be the last year in Wyoming.
Does that make you feel old?
Yeah,
17.
it's pretty old. Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, he had a game last night, and went to the game, watched him play, and I was, he was hanging out with all his buddies after the game, and I was like, I'm old.
Has he got a beard yet or what?
I mean, he's coming.
Getting there?
It's probably about like mine. It's going to end up being kind of sparse, but can't win them all. But yeah, I mean, like this is the last year that he will be, a youth in a state like Wyoming. So I'm actually piggybacking his points.
That's smart.
Yeah, so I've been buying him preference points.
What a good dad. Out of state. Gosh.
Show him the ropes.
But
Use his
yeah,
points.
I'm going to piggyback his points because he wanted to go on an elk hunt this year. I'll be able to draw a tag when he and I party app together. I can go up and bow hunt, and then I can take him back on a rifle hunt.
That's
and
super
he
cool.
He can go on an elk hunt.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I would say, check out those. I mean, those are kind of a pet project for me, if I will, because it's good
'Cause you got
research.
kids, yeah.
Because I got kids,
Yeah.
that are hunting age. So I thought,
What's fun for me is
why not put these together for other people?
What's fun for me is to go to the drawing board of like, what's just a hunt? Like an opportunity that is good for a 3.5-year-old. Now he'll be 4.5 next year, but like it's fun to kind of go find that opportunity where I don't give a shit what we kill. I just want to make sure we see some animals and get something killed with them, whatever it be, elk, deer, antelope. I don't care, and it's fun to like go find that with him.
I think a cow elk hunt, a doe antelope hunt, doe mule deer, whitetail, doe. And we have draw odds. We didn't touch about it, but we covered draw odds for all antlerless species in all the states. Those are great first hunts.
Exactly. Perfect hunts.
I love hunting a big mature buck or bull, right? But you know what's a ton of fun? Like a January cow elk tag.
Late season
where
cow,
any
baby.
cow will do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fun. You're just out.
Isn't it calf with you, though?
Yeah, it's a calf with me. Any calf will do, I should say.
They eat better.
They do eat better. But those are fun hunts, and I don't know. I mean,
You're learning.
A lot of people don't talk about it, really.
No, I find myself just as much chasing this other stuff I got 14 points for. Like doing something with my kid like that, just to make sure he's with me. Like, what is a hunt I can do with him with me? And it's a lot of stuff like that.
And taking a youth on those sounds perfect too. Learning how to react to a situation, how you stalk, how you use the wind, how you lay behind a gun and get calm.
Yep.
Take that.
I'll never get tired of saying it. There's only one way to getting good at killing. Only one way.
Killing.
Just got to keep killing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get out there and get after it. But yeah, then finally, I guess I would conclude is just like, don't be intimidated. Like, don't talk yourself out of it. It's going to take some work. It's going to take effort, and
it will be ever evolving.
It will be evolving. But I promise you, all the tools, all the tricks, all the information is within your account. It's right there. It's built to give you everything that you would possibly need. Just do yourself a service, dig in, and do the research. Just go at it.
Yeah, and research is like, I don't know, it's a weird word. Nobody wants to go do research. Kind of
You
feels
think
like
back
you're
to
back
college
in
days.
Yeah.
I don't
This is different though.
Yeah, this is fun research.
Yeah.
Because it's going to result in.
Well, you're playing a game too. Like, you can win this game.
I love this
start
game.
playing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, it's like I said earlier in the podcast. I don't gamble, but this is the closest.
I don't play fantasy football. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Would you rather sit there and watch Netflix at night or jump on your phone and read some app strategy articles and learn
I don't
about?
know. Depends what's on Netflix.
Gosh, you guys are
Depends.
insane.
Depends on how tired I am.
That's money you
What
can use towards
What time did my
apps.
son go to bed? Was it easy to put him down? That's where.
Is
my
it
mind
before 8 o'clock?
goes. Yeah. But no, I love. It's not just research, man. It's the game, and figuring out this game is fun. Like always finding these little things. It's awesome.
Yeah, and drawing a great permit is super fun.
Oh,
The days of results come out, and the office is all just
A buzz. Those are some of my favorite days.
those are my favorite days.
When some result hits and,
Yeah.
everybody in the office is like, hey, do an elk tag in Nevada. Everybody
Yeah.
kind of gets hyped in, starts giving information and offering
I love that.
ideas. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. Your phone starts blowing up.
Yeah.
All your buddies.
Hey, did you hear about Jeff?
Yeah.
You believe what Jeff drew?
Yeah, those are fun.
one more thing we got to talk about.
Yeah.
Which we haven't. We've never publicly talked about.
We
this, right?
haven't.
What?
This will be the first time.
Hunt Planner.
Oh yeah,
So we've had this on the website.
we suck at marketing. But yeah.
So we have
Content team, not marketing.
yes. Yes.
Shots
God.
fired.
Yeah, we suck.
Which we're going to do some full-on marketing here coming up on it. So it's a perfect time here to talk about it right now. But we have a section of the website called Hunt Planner. We're going to move that over into the tools so it's easier to find. But right now it's just on the upper right-hand corner. If you're on a computer, hover over your name. It's a little pop drop-down menu, Hunt Planner. You click that. Basically, before you go to that, though, like we've always had, when you look at filtering 2.0, there's a million units. You find that one sick unit that you want to keep researching, but we didn't have a way to save it for future reference. So now you'll see under all those different seasons in Filtering 2.0,
that middle column,
there'll be a little save button. You can start tapping that save. You'll tap that save, a little window will pop up. You can create a hunt. So you can label it whatever, like Wyoming elk 2023 research, whatever it might be. So now every time you save those hunts on there, it's going to go under that little folder, and you can start going through that list, save those results that you want, jump over to your hunt planner. You'll be able to have that little folder right there. You can click on that folder. Now you can see those seasons broken out, all the different numbers. What's the bull-cow ratio? What's the public land? What's the trophy potential?
Start truly comparing them.
Yep. What's the draw odds going to be? And then the special part too, you can add notes to all those different seasons. So you can start to, whatever sort of research you find on the unit profiles or app strategy, you can even drop links in there from app to app strategies to start creating your own personal hunting portfolio. In there. And then also you can sort those units. Let's say there's alphabetical. I want to re-rank them. I want that unit as my number one I'm going to apply for. This is going to be my number 2 choice, so on and so forth. And then you can also drop over to a separate note page, and it says a blank note area where you can drop anything you want there as well. And there's a little menu bar or a little link in the middle of that that's like similar seasons. Whatever filtering setting you had prior, you click on that link, it's going to take you right back to those exact same filters. So let's say you had all that public land percentage, your draw odds percentage, trophy potential, it now memorizes those last search results. So you can instantly jump back to what you're looking at before to dive in.
Yep.
And you can name it whatever. You can customize the little logo at the top if you want to put an elk on there. It's like super cool and very valuable to compare all these different seasons for that hunt you're going to go on. So it's like,
that notes section's awesome because, I mean, a lot of us, we could do a lot of research within our account, but also a lot of us have networks. You know, we're talking to people, hey, you've hunted this unit before.
Exactly.
That's just a spot that you can organize and put that kind of information in there, and you can really start to rank it and plan it. And then you can start to plan your hunt. I mean, you pull in maps.
Yep. There's a link in there to open up maps right away, so you can start to dive into that.
The hopes and dreams for this is to take away my notepad.
We're going to get you there.
That's what this is for. That's what it's supposed to be for.
And it's cool, too, because you can just jump in there on a random state, and like you can start planning something for the future and just start saving those units.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have extra time and you want to start doing that, like it's a great resource to utilize, and that's a new insider feature that we rolled out.
Yeah, prior to that, you know, endpoint tracker, I had a spreadsheet, and, you know, every year I would go back and visit the hunts that I applied for, and it's just, it makes it so much easier.
So much easier.
Even, like I said, you get back from a hunt, you have a bunch of thoughts on how that hunt went. Jump into Hunt Planner, go to that season level, drop your notes in there. What you saw, what you experienced, that could be useful for your son when he wants to draw it maybe by himself, or like my brothers when they want to go. Yeah. I have notes I can share with them.
Well, good deal. So I'm ready to apply.
Me too. I can't wait.
So remember, after listening to this whole thing, you made it this far, use code podcast100. Get yourself 100 points back in the GOHUNT Gear Shop when you sign up for Insider. It'll benefit you this year. Put more tags in your pocket. Utilize the tools we just talked about.
And in the future, too. I mean...
Yeah, and sign up for it. I mean, essentially, you're $149. You use the promo code podcast100. You get $100 back to the GOHUNT Gear Shop. So for $50, you're getting GOHUNT maps, you're getting draw odds, you're getting filtering, you're getting all the information that you would need to get an over-the-counter hunt, to get a draw tag, just to get a chance to go hunting. I mean, for $50, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's tough to beat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best $50 spent, and that's me, whether I worked here or not.
Exactly.
I mean, I got brothers that they pay their members. It's worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have a market adjustment here. Same price.
Yep. So yeah, that's app season kickoff.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That's a good one. Makes me fired up.
I know.
Like I said,
I have
such an exciting time
so much hopes and dreams going into it. I feel like a degenerate gambler. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win for sure. This is why you gamble.
Yeah. Exactly.
I always think it's funny the amount. I mean, I would say a lot of the conversations that I have with people from January to May are discussing applications.
Absolutely.
Like, just with buddies. Hey, what are you applying for?
Yep.
What are you going to do here? You know, how was that hunt last year? Oh, I was thinking about doing that. So there's a lot of those conversations being had. It's exciting. And like you said, I think besides hunting season, it's my favorite.
If you can't go hunting, you might as well just talk about it. Plan for it.
Plan for it.
Well said.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Get an Insider account. And man, if you draw a good tag, let us know.
Exactly.
For sure.
I love hearing when people draw a good tag.
Mm-hmm.
Reach
too.
out.
Get
Yep.
pumped for 'em.
All right. Appreciate you, boys.
See ya.